Hey everybody, welcome to The Good, The Bad and The Bitcoin. My name is Dirk Hartig. I have been a trader and investor for 25 years. And on today's video, I want to talk about Bitcoin and I want to talk about, is this really it? Is the bull market already over? Or what specifically can we expect from the rest of 2024 and 2025? Is the bull market frenzy mode still coming? Where is price going? And when is this going to happen? And in order to explain this, I'm going to use one of my all-time favorite Bitcoin charts and apply to it a so-called logarithmic regression. Now, I don't want to bore you too much with the details. I just want to notice you to notice a couple of things. Well, actually, probably just by looking at this chart and the bands, you can already see the usefulness of this logarithmic regression. But to explain a little bit more, the logarithmic regression consists of three things. You see this purple line here, which kind of symbolizes the so-called fair price according to the regression of Bitcoin. You see a green channel here. This is where the Bitcoin price spends the majority of the time. And you see an upper red band, a red channel here, which are the expected blow-off tops of Bitcoin. So the ones we saw here in late 2017 and the one we saw in 2021, where in reality we had a double top. The second one was a little bit higher than the first one, but according to the regression, the first one was here really the important one. Now, I want you to notice a couple of things here. First of all, this logarithmic regression works very well on Bitcoin. It doesn't work so well on other asset classes out there because of the cycle, the price cycle that Bitcoin has. What do I mean by price cycle? Well, we roughly always have 3 years of bull markets in Bitcoin followed by 1 year of bear market. So the last bear market, most of you probably very well and very vivid remember that one still was in 2022, 2023 saw 155% in returns. 2024 so far at the price of $67,000 per Bitcoin, 58%. So we can, from this seasonality, from the cycle, expect 2024 and 2025 alone to be in the green numbers. Now, of course, this doesn't help us very much because we don't know yet what to expect in terms of price development, and especially when this bull market, the true bull market frenzy with this blow off top at the upper red band is going to start. And when I talk about bull market frenzy mode, I mean this here. I mean the area between the upper green channel and the lower red channel here, where things really go ballistic to the north. We can see this here very well in the bull market of 2017. We also saw this 2020, 2021 with a blow off top here at $63,000, the first one that was. And then after this, of course, also the severe bear markets. Now, from this alone, we can already formulate a trading strategy, of course, which is whenever we touch this red band up here, be it the lower or the higher one, it's time to sell. Whenever we touch the lower green channel, it's pretty much time to buy. That's a solid trading strategy already that works very, very well on Bitcoin. And I don't see why it should not work well in the future again. But in order to be a little bit more precise in order what to expect in terms of price development, we can do the following. We can, for example, now measure how long did after the halvings take it Bitcoin to break out of this upper green band here. So in the case after the halving 2016, it was about 300 days. In the case of the halving after 2020, we are talking about around 196 days. We can now take this information because remember, we always see the same 4-year cycle from Bitcoin. So it's quite solid to assume that the same is going to happen again this time. Now we can use this to our advantage and do 2 forecasts. The first one about 300 days into the future, and the second one about 190 days into the future. Here we go, and see where we land then. And we land, so if history repeats itself, these real bull market frenzy where we see meteoric rises up to the higher red band here should start somewhere. So somewhere in this box of time between November or October 2024 and February of 2025, we should see Bitcoin breaking out of its channel, out of this green band, this upper green band, to then go into the full frenzy mode. Now, what does that actually mean in terms of price to break out from there? Well, in order for Bitcoin, if it would like to today break out from this channel already, we would need to see prices north of 88,000 US dollars, north of 90,000 US dollars to be more precise, if it would want to break out today from the upper green band. To cross the upper green band to the north, that is, of course. So we are talking here already about 20,000 US dollars plus in price movement. So if you would believe that, you actually should buy Bitcoin right now at the price of around about 67,000 US dollars that we are seeing today. However, if we forecast this into the future, you can obviously see the fair price, the green band, and to some extent the red band, they are rising here a little bit. And we forecast this like to November, we are probably going to be around about here. So we are talking about prices of 100,000 US dollars in October or November of 2024. If we break out then in February, it's more like 110,000 US dollars. So if we see, that means if we see history repeating itself, we can expect that the price of Bitcoin, in order to break out and show the same patterns as it did the last 3 cycles, should trade somewhere between October or let's say early November of 2024 and February, mid of February 2025, above 100,000 US dollars. And remember, this is only when the party gets started, because then we are probably going to see a quick rise to the upper band here. When I say quick, I mean something like a couple of months, maybe a year or something like this. This is usually how long this phase is. And then price probably will top out somewhere here. The red channel probably is going to be somewhere here, the lower one at around 200,000 US dollars, the upper one more at 250 or even 300,000 US dollars. And this is what you can expect if Bitcoin shows the same price behavior that it did after the last halvings. I think personally this is really a solid forecast because of this seasonality, this price cycle we see from Bitcoin every 4 years. 3 years of bull market followed by 1 year of bear market. The bull market at the time of a halving, Bitcoin usually is somewhere around the purple line. This was true in 2016. This was true in 2020. This was true in 2024. Then it took, in one instance, 300 days. In the other instance, it was shorter, 196 days, to break out of the green channel, followed by a meteoric rise to the upper red band here, only to then collapse and go into the bear market mode again. So with this type of information, it does, in my opinion at least, make not a lot of sense to stay at the sidelines and when you see price retracing, play games like, oh, I want to wait until 65. I want to wait until it's at 60 or maybe even 55 or 50,000 US dollars again. Because the dynamic to the upside is probably going to be much higher. And I can guarantee you one thing. Once we see this breakout of a green band and once we see prices above 100,000 US dollars and then maybe a quick rise to 150,000 US dollars, this will be the time when your neighbor, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa are going to call you to ask you, hey, should I buy Bitcoin now? Because everybody will have a severe case of FOMO. And, you know, maybe with this type of chart, with this logarithmic regression, this will help you to cut through the FOMO and still have a clear eye on what is really happening on the market and when it's time to exit the markets. Of course, once that happens and we really leave this green channel to the upside, I'm going to do a video about this again. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe to my channel and of course leave me a like. In the description of this video and pinned comment, you will also find some links to my Twitter, for example, where I post more often when I can obviously do videos, plus some other links that might be interesting for you if you want to invest in Bitcoins and or altcoins. Until we see each other again, happy investing.